How y'all doing today? It's your host, Zach Shoemaker, and today is an episode you cannot miss. It's a little mini-series, if you want to call it that. We got some of the stars of the junior NBA camp, and you're not going to miss hearing from them, as you're going to be able to hear today from Mark Mitchell Jr., Noah Batchelor, Efton Reid, and Jaylen Blakes. And trust me, you're not going to miss a single one. So sit back and enjoy the show today. But, as I said, there's going to be a few more guests. You're going to hear from 2023 guys on Monday. You're going to be hear from a few other guys throughout the rest of the week. You're not going to miss it. So make sure to go and follow me as Zach Shoemaker on Twitter and Instagram to stay up to date on all those. But with that being said, I think we got to get right in. I'm blessed to be able to welcome on a 5-star and the number 10 ranked player in the class of 2022. He's known as the number 1 overall player in Kansas and led Central to win the 2018 Junior NBA Championship. He also led KC Run GMC this summer and is gearing up to lead Bishop Miege in his sophomore season. He also is one of the biggest stars in the Team USA camp in Mark Mitchell. How are you doing today, my guy?
I'm doing pretty good. Just got back home from the gym, so yeah.
All right, that's awesome. So let's just jump right in and just discuss and talk about Team USA. What was the experience like, and how did you really enjoy it?
It was pretty cool. A lot of good competition to play against, and just keeps me accountable to everything I do and helps me get better every time I go down there. So I really liked it.
No doubt. So was there anything that kind of like any guys that really stood out next to playing with, or some guys you really created a good connection or chemistry with?
I think Scoot Henderson. I like playing with him. He's a good point guard. That was one of the guys I like playing with on my team. He was pretty good. But, I mean, besides that, not really.
Okay. And so what kind of was it like the very first time you got the option to go and the offer to go and play at Team USA? What was that moment kind of like, and how did it happen for you?
It was an honor because I think every AAU kid or high school kid in America wants to be able to do that. So, yeah, just that's the highest level of basketball for us. So it was an honor to have the opportunity.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, it's something that I think obviously USA is right up there, if not above, like the McDonald's All-American, that kind of stuff. And just being able to go and play it, that's a huge thing.
Yeah, for
So what
sure.
were some of the things that you really took away from, or was there anything you really like gained of, like you kind of took away from the camp?
I think the biggest thing for me was the skill work I got to do with Phil Beckner, Damian Lillard's trainer. He just helped me with my shot and things like that to help me become a more consistent shooter and just playing on defense hard every time, because sometimes I'll take plays off on defense, but just playing hard on defense every single time and not letting my man get any open looks.
No doubt. So was there anything that really, when you were playing the games at Team USA, was there anything that really like a player that you kind of liked playing against, or someone that you really want to try competing against?
I mean, I think Greg Brown and Evan Mobley, probably those were like the two that were kind of like, wow, like they're the most two. Like, I really want to be able to just compete on their level and do the things that they do. So, yeah.
No doubt. I mean, obviously Evan's been on here before, and just like the way they, like you said, like the way they play, just they have that freak of nature kind of about them, and just how they play, and it's also how they kind of carry themselves, just as being high character guys, which is awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
hmm So now let's jump in and talk about your college. Obviously, you're still just going into your sophomore year now, but talk about kind of getting offers. Obviously, you have Kansas, and just talk about what it was like getting your very first offer.
I got my first offer in 8th grade from Milwaukee. And, I mean, I only have 2 offers right now, Milwaukee and KU. But, yeah, I'm not really worrying about that right now. I didn't play most of spring and summer because I had a knee injury. So, yeah, just kind of taking it slow for real.
No doubt. And so obviously, I mean, being in Kansas, what was it kind of like when you first got the call and knew that Kansas was interested in you and offered you?
I mean, it was an honor coming from the Blue Bloods and just near a school that's close to me. But, I mean, yeah, it was an honor. That's all I can say.
No doubt. So growing up, was KU one of your favorite schools, or what really was one of your schools, if there was any, that you really loved watching or rooting for?
I mean, KU wasn't. KU is one. I mean, they're the hometown school, so I'm always watching KU. Always, I
Mm.
watch probably almost every game since it's always on TV around here. So I mean, yeah, I grew up watching KU. I've probably watched 90% of the games since they've had Devontae Graham, Frank Mason, all the way back when they had the Morris twins. So yeah,
No doubt. I mean, my family's also from Kansas, and also, I mean, just obviously big KU fans, and just being able to watch the way that they play like you said. I mean, there's so much like history and guys that everyone can kind of relate to. I mean, there's so many players, and I mean, would there be
Mhm.
anyone that, in your opinion, you've always kind of looked at and was like you kind of want to kind of take parts of their game, or you kind of like role model off of them?
I don't really know about from KU really, but probably Josh Jackson be the closest one because that's the closest position I played to. So I mean, that'd probably be it.
Absolutely. And then talking about your junior NBA, obviously you had the opportunity to go out there and you're able to win it back in 2018. And talk about that experience and some of the guys on the team that you really enjoyed playing with.
I mean, those are actually most of my close friends to this day because most of us still play on the same AAU team. So I mean, that was probably the greatest trip of my life. Being on a resort with your best friends, just playing basketball and just enjoying yourself, really, because we were around each other, had our own hotel rooms, things like that. I mean, I think that was a once in a lifetime thing. I don't know if I'll need to ever do anything as fun as that ever again. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So what kind of was the experience like out there? Obviously you go out there and talk about like the events they were there beforehand and just talk about the game itself and being able to win the championship.
Um, I mean, the events out there were like, we got to go to Disney World and we got to talk to NBA players. I got to do a Gatorade sweat test. I mean, we were really treated like pros for a week. We had everything we needed from free food, Gatorade, anything, unlimited. So, that's, it was anything you could think of like an NBA players. So,
hmm
yeah.
That's awesome. And another big honor you also got to have was being able to go to Steph Curry camp and be able to hang around Steph Curry and perform and play alongside some of the best players around the country. Talk about that and how that invite first got to you.
Yeah, I actually got that invite when I was at USA Basketball in July. And I was actually kind of surprised because not many freshmen usually get to go to that camp, or freshmen going on sophomores usually didn't get to go. But it was actually great learning from Steph and his people, and just Steph being so hands on with us and not just coming for 10 minutes to say hi and leaving. He was actually like doing the drills with us. We got to watch him work out, played with us, everything. He was there the whole time, the whole everything.
That's awesome. I think that's something that's obviously special about Steph Curry and a lot of other guys too. There's the fact that he does invest a lot, and not just like his community, but especially when he gets involved in these events and plays basketball. And really is a guy that I think a lot of people. I mean, I think every basketball player respects him, and just be able to have that guy that's obviously a multiple-time MVP and whatnot, to be able to have is a huge thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So was there anyone else at that camp that really stood out to you, or maybe you like enjoyed playing alongside, or who was maybe the guy that really you thought was like the best player at that camp?
I would say probably McCure Maker. He was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Chet, I think was like the top two that I played against out there. But yeah.
No doubt. So obviously now you're getting ready to go play another year of high school. Talk about your team and why you originally decided to attend there.
Um, Miege is just kind of like I always wanted to go to Miege. Jeremiah Robinson Earl went there. Bowl went there when he was here. I just like going to school there. Period. Like I like the people there. I like the community part of Miege, and it's really just like home, really. So and the basketball program is obviously good. It's probably the best in the city. So yeah. I think we have a young team this year. It's a lot different from last year because two of our top seniors left and one other really important senior left. So we have two returning starters. One guy that came off the bench, and we have two transfers that came in. A couple JV guys that'll play this year. So it'll be a lot different, but we'll still be pretty good and probably top 5 team in the Metro. So yeah.
That's awesome. And so then let's jump in and talk about your AAU team. Talk about the guys that kind of form your team and kind of help lead the team alongside you while playing with KC Run GMC.
We have me and Tamar Bates. Those are probably the top two players on our team. Tamar is guard. He goes to Piper's, top 100 in the country as offers from a lot of different D1 schools. And Zeke Mayo, that's another top guard on our team. Yeah, I didn't get to play with them much this year because of my injury, but I played with them 2 tournaments, and we were just trying to find our groove as we went along.
Absolutely. So how was the recovery process coming back from your injury, and do you think you're 100% now?
Yes, I'm more than 100%. Like my legs probably stronger now than it was before, just from doing all the extra exercise and things. But it was pretty smooth coming back. I mean, I didn't really have like a major injury. It's just like a piece of my cartilage came off and it just got stuck. I was only out for like probably 6 weeks, like, and I was going back right 100%. No like I didn't have to slowly go into anything. I was 100% fully healthy, but yeah, went pretty smooth.
Oh, that's awesome. Was USA the first event kind of back at 100%, or was there something else before that?
Mm, I would probably say UAA finals when I played.
Being with AAU and playing high school and being able to go to those camps and obviously can make a lot of connections and friendships throughout all of basketball world. So talk about some of the guys that you really have created a tight bond with and guys that you really think you guys are going to be have a great chemistry from here on out, and not just on the court but off the court.
I'd probably say Noah Batchelor. That's one of my good friends from USA. He was my roommate. Him and we bonded pretty well. And after July mini camp, and we still keep in touch. Jalen Washington's another one of the guys I talk to a lot when I'm at USA. So yeah.
That's awesome. And so talk a little about the process for those that don't necessarily know. I mean, obviously there's a few USA camps and all of them kind of lead up to the final tryout to make it go overseas. But kind of talk about what it's like in the camps and kind of how it's like in the evaluation process.
I mean, it's not like USA is a little different, as in like you got to play with a lot of other really good players. So you might not get to do whatever you want all the time, but you got to do the little things. And not all the best players always make the team. So I mean, if you bring one thing that this guy can, even if he is better than you, you might make it over him. So I mean, it's good just to learn how to play with other great players and do other little things to impact the game besides just scoring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's something that's so key because a lot of time you see the guys that are involved in Team USA are oftentimes the guys that do pan out and become the top players in the NBA. And I mean, one thing you always look at is, like you said, someone like Josh Christopher, which I think he's developed insane, but he's always been a top 10 player. And I mean, he hasn't played in Team USA. And I think a lot of people talk
Yeah.
about how at this last camp he really showed out and went big time. And that's just something that, like you said, that playing your role is so key that a lot of times they do look for guys that can fill this role and this role because you guys are expected to go out and win gold. And so being able to go out there and find those pieces and good chemistry guys is obviously key. And obviously they put together always a great team.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Hmm. So then when you guys do decide, when you get to go play over there and from the final tryouts, what's some of the guys you think will be on that roster alongside you?
I mean, I don't really know. Only people who know is probably Mike Jones, and Coach Show, but yeah, but I mean, just people who play hard and just make winning plays for real. I think that's really what they look for at Team USA. Not always just the best player and most talented, but just who's gonna come in and work and just sacrifice for the betterment of the team. I think is the
Absolutely.
main thing for that.
Hmm. And I don't know if a lot of people know, but also you have done track and field and talk about that and really where your passion kind of came for that.
Um, I've been doing it since I was 7. It was kind of on and off passionate thing, but once I started doing it, I really like got into it because that was my second sport growing up. But yeah, I was one of the top long jumpers in the country. I ran the 100 and 200. I was actually pretty good in those too, top like 20ish. But yeah, I mean, my dad did track. He introduced me to it, and I did it all the way up until 8th grade. But getting into high school, I didn't really have time to do it. So yeah,
Hmm. Kind of know if some people read into it, I mean, at 10 years old, you were able to win the title for, and you got long jump 17 and then 3 inches. And so trying to talk about
mm,
that and really where you kind of like got all that from, and like, was it a lot of just playing basketball kind of translated to the track and field stuff, or was it just kind of natural?
I think it was kind of natural. I mean, my dad was a big time long jumper coming up, so he kind of helped me with that, and just I think the genes of athleticism just came down to me, and I won it when I was 10 and when I was 11. So, and I was the top jumper in the country when I was 12, but I didn't go because I had a basketball event. So, yeah.
Okay. And I'd like to wrap up just talking about a couple of different things. And the first one would be, who would you say has been your biggest role model?
Mm, one person I look up to is probably Kobe Bryant. Just he's been my favorite player growing up all along, and just the way he plays and just how he's so skilled, he can do everything on the court. It's something I look up to on the basketball court. So yeah.
No doubt. And finally, I would like to wrap up. Obviously, face a big thing in my life, but how would you say in your life God's help guide you and get you to the point you are at today?
I mean, I'm very in tune with God and just trying to like keep me on the right path because just being a big time athlete, a lot of different things can deter you from staying on track with Him. But just praying every day and reading my Bible just keeps me on the right path and just keeps my head steady from all the things that are out here just trying to lead you towards the devil.
Absolutely. And I think especially in the world of athletes, there's so much temptation and people that don't necessarily want athletes, a lot of people to be successful. And so being able to have a strong foundation in Christ is something that can obviously get you to where you want to go and keeps you steady and on the right track.
Most definitely.
Well, appreciate you coming on today, my guy. Best of luck this upcoming season. I'm excited to see what you do throughout the rest of high school and obviously the rest of your basketball career. Best of luck.
Thank you.
No problem. God bless.
Peace.
Coming up next, he just recently received an offer from Maryland. He was one of the breakout stars of the Team USA camp, and he's continued to blow up in this entire summer. That being said, I'd want to stay right there if I were you, because up next is Noah Batchelor, and you're not going to miss what he has to say. I couldn't be more excited than to welcome on one of the biggest risers of the summer and 2022 top 50 player. He's recently just gotten back from Team USA camp and has received offers from the likes of Clemson, Florida, and most recently Maryland, along with many others in the 4-star Noah Batchelor. How are you doing today, my guy?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. You just recently got back from Team USA, so talk about the camp and what's some of the things you really took away from it.
The experience was always great because you get to meet with, a lot of new players, and you always have friends there, so you connect with everybody. And then the coaches definitely, because everybody there, all the coaches, they all have, their basketball IQ is crazy, so you just try to, ask them a lot of questions. If you don't ask them questions, then you're missing out. So I just try to ask them a lot of questions and get my basketball knowledge up.
Absolutely, and I think that's something that's so key because obviously the coaches are spectacular, they're amazing, and some of the best coaches in all the country, but being able to be alongside and play alongside and make connections with the guys that you'll be playing alongside and seeing each other throughout your high school, college, and obviously professional careers is huge because it's not just going to create a bond that is throughout your high school careers, basketball playing careers, but that can last forever. That's a huge thing, and that's what's something that's so great about sports, and obviously just being in this atmosphere has to be amazing.
Right.
So what would you say is one of the things that maybe you took away in terms of like a game or a new skill you picked up, or what was something that you really learned from the camp?
What I learned from the camp, honestly, is I have to be louder on the court. I know I talk a lot, but the coaches told me just to try and be a lot louder on the court and make sure to be a leader. So when I get back, which I'm here now, so when I get with my high school team, I could be more of a leader and just try to make sure that everybody knows what they're at on the court and everything.
No doubt. And so is there anyone that you kind of maybe created a new connection with, a new friendship with, or is it a lot of guys that you just kind of already knew that you kind of hung out with a lot during the camp?
I would say it's more the same people that I would stick with, but I made a few other friends. I talk to the twins a lot, so honestly, I guess we're all just tight, so everybody knows each other. So I mean, there's not really new friendships. This is everybody I knew from last camp. I would just stick with.
Gotcha. And then I think obviously you always had a big showing, and a lot of people really took note of that, and you obviously got a lot of write-ups and talk about that. And so, what was it kind of like getting a lot of attention? Some people really starting to realize who you are and what you can bring to the table.
Honestly, the attention and everything like that is cool, but I want to stay humble. So I always try to humble myself, even though everybody thinks I'm doing good, which is good. I want people to realize my game and how good I can be, but I also just want to humble myself.
No doubt. I know what some of the guys that you really kind of look at to maybe you're compared to, or you think you kind of take parts of some other players' games that you add to your game.
I would say Tyler Herro is the main person that I really watch to try to model my game after and to get his moves down. I watch him a lot, so I look up his highlights and everything every day. I just look up his highlights to try and get new moves and everything.
No doubt. And obviously you had a big summer and you've really started picking up a lot of offers recently. Obviously the most recent is Maryland. But talk about what's been like getting more and more offers and what's some of the things you really like about the colleges so far.
The offers is great. Honestly, it just shows that my hard work is starting to pay off a lot more. And I just got to keep being on the grind. But honestly, the college and stuff, what I like about them is that all the colleges they're all family oriented. So if I was to leave home and not to if I was to leave Maryland or maybe not, all the colleges, they would treat me like a family. So that's the one thing that I really try to look for in a college to see if they treat me like a family, and obviously like the style of play and everything like that. But I like how a lot of the colleges, they treat you like a family. So
No doubt. And so what was it kind of like when you first got your very first offer? What kind of was the feeling like, and how'd you kind of find out you got your offer?
I found out by my AAU coach. I was actually on vacation. I was at the beach, and my coach called me and just told me about it. The first one was GW, but obviously the first one always feels, it's like a really good feeling. I was like jumping up and down. I was just so excited I got one because it just shows that my hard work is finally starting to pay off.
hmm I think that's the same thing for like so many people because it could be the smallest of D1 school is just like at that moment you kind of know. I mean, of course, it's not locked in for sure at that moment. Things could change, but it's like at that point that your college will be paid for and you got the next thing kind of secured where you can keep working. Of course, you want to add on more parts to your game and get higher and higher offers. But yeah, at that point, you kind of can say, I got it, and now let's add to the next part of my game and keep getting more and more.
Right.
Has there been anyone that you've maybe talked to or discussed possibly teaming up with now in college?
Actually, I haven't really got to that part yet. I mean, I've talked to a few kids, but it's nothing serious to where I'm like actually like, okay, should we go here or something like that? No, honestly, for me, I'm just really focused on trying to get more offers and trying to improve my game. So I'm not really talking to like kids like that yet.
Gotcha. And is there anyone kind of maybe from either Team USA camps playing AU or high school you kind of have created a good bond with or something you really realize you have played well alongside?
Jet Howard and Jalen Washington, I feel like are the two people that I've like got to know a lot more, and like we've become very, very close friends. And I feel like I play really good with them on the court too.
Gotcha. And then kind of jumping in, talk about high school. Obviously, you decided to transfer. So talk about that process and what kind of went into that decision.
So honestly, okay, well first I went to St. Marie Grade High School, and that wasn't like, it just wasn't a really good fit for me. So me and my family, we decided to switch it up. So we needed a transfer. So I went to Glenelg Country School. I chose that school, but the process for me, it's kind of been hard and a grind because getting to know, the players a lot. I have to get to know them, and I can't just be shy about it. So I have to ask everybody questions, and especially since I go to the new school, people like they'll come up to me and they'll just be asking me questions, and sometimes I feel uncomfortable doing like answering questions a lot like that. But it's also been fun too because there's a lot of benefits that came into me transferring. I feel like the education is a lot better than my old school, and the teachers and everything helped me out a lot more at my new school. So everything, I feel like it's been fun, but it's also been a grind to transfer too.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think that's kind of something I think it's a lot of mixed opinions obviously about transferring and switching high schools and all, but I think there's a lot of positives to both of them. I think staying with the school for the whole time kind of shows loyalty and kind of create a good chemistry with guys. But at the same time, and when you get to the real world, especially when you get to college or especially the professional league, you could be some people change teams multiple times in a year. I mean, obviously a good example is this NBA. Guys can get traded one or two times in the season. Like you never can get really accustomed to one place, very rarely. So I mean, just
Right.
getting that kind of used to that at a younger age and learning how to adapt and play is a huge thing that can go for the rest of your life.
Right.
hmm So what are some things you're really looking forward to this upcoming season?
I'm really looking forward to, just the people we play against. We play in the MIAA, so that's like one of the top conferences in Maryland. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward, to the coaching that I have. We have some really good coaches, and just, the environment, my school environment. Everybody says they're going to come to the games, so we're gonna see how that works. I'm just really excited, to play with all my brothers and everything, get to know them a lot more.
No doubt. So what's kind of the surrounding pieces alongside you that you're looking forward to play alongside?
One of my big man, his name is Cole. Cole Parr. He's a very, very good big man, and I'm looking forward to playing, with him because I can dish him the ball, and it's just easier to, I don't have to be the only one getting buckets. I have actual people that can like get buckets alongside of me, so it's a lot. It's really good.
Are you playing your old school or is there any game that really you circle on your calendar you're excited to play?
Actually, we're not playing my old school. I was kind of hoping we would get that game, but my coach didn't
hmm
schedule it. But I'm really looking forward. I'm really looking forward to playing St. Francis. That's one game I have on my calendar that I'm looking forward to. that I really need to work hard for that game. So I'm trying to prove a lot of people wrong. And then we play some WCAC schools. So there's a lot of games that, I'm really looking forward to this season.
No doubt. And so talk a little about the Maryland community in terms of basketball. What's some of the guys that you see in Maryland that's going to be some of the top players alongside you coming out and guys that you maybe create connections with from Maryland area?
There's a lot of people in Maryland that I feel like are going to be like top players, but some kids that really stand out for me is like, I would say Rodney Rice is a good example. It's just and I mean, it's kind of hard to like choose one person because everybody's like good in the DMV. So for Maryland, I would feel like there's a lot of good talent here. There's not just one person I can single out that's going to be you know what I mean? That's going to be like good. Everyone here in Maryland is at least going to give me some bumps. So that's what I like about this area, that everyone's going to give me bumps. So
Absolutely. And would you say kind of in there, kind of NBA players, the guys that are from the Maryland area that come back, has there been anyone that you've maybe created a connection with or kind of has helped guide you?
I actually know. There is a lot of NBA players from Maryland, but I haven't really like tried to connect with any of them yet, or even try to talk to them because I just really haven't got that chance to meet any of them. Actually, I did go to Will Barton camp in Baltimore, but I just didn't have a chance to talk to him.
Gotcha.
Now, transitioning a little bit into AAU, what would you say kind of led Mid-Atlantic Select to be the right decision for you to go play your club ball this past season?
Some of the factors were, one, I mean, he put me on the 17U team, so I was able to get some bump on there. And we also played in the UA Rise, so, I mean, there's a lot of bump. And people don't think about it, but my team, we did beat some UA teams. So there's some bump on the UA Rise for 17U especially. So I got a lot stronger during the AAU season. And that team, it's just like a family to me. Everybody there is all nice. There's no like, nobody's just like, it's me ball. Like nobody wants to compete for the ball. It's everybody sharing the ball, and it's just even basketball. I like how they play too.
Absolutely. I think that's another thing that some people do question, like playing, do you play A's level, do you play up or whatnot? I think there's a lot of things, obviously, if you play a level, you obviously get to play against the guys that most likely you'll be playing against throughout the rest of the time. But same time, playing up, it's a more realistic situation once again for a lot of things. Obviously, high school, it's not just divided up by a grade level, and obviously college is not, and then pros is obviously a huge difference. And so being able to play up is, I think, is a huge thing that I think is great for a lot of people to also play.
Right.
hmm So what were some of the guys on your roster that you really enjoyed playing alongside?
For AAU, I would say Noah Charles. He's on my high school team. Noah Charles. Then I have Q. His name is Quentin. I have Ty Ray. He's a good one. Matt Rock. Basically, our whole team is, we're a really good team. We have, I think everybody is actually almost committed to a D1 school. There's only a few kids that haven't committed yet. So everybody's going to go D1 that was on my 17U team. So it was a good experience.
Okay, that's big time. And just talking a little more about like high school basketball as a whole, obviously it's been really noteworthy about all the transfers and switching around. What's your kind of thought on guys going to prep school, guys just switching states and going across the country really for going to high schools, and what it's like kind of seeing that?
I mean, yeah, they could do what they want, but I feel like if you go to like across the country to like a school in California and you're already here, I just feel like that's really not like the move you want to do, or that I would even do. Because I feel like the DMV is the best basketball in the country right now. So I feel like if you're in the DMV, you're in a good spot. So that's why I didn't want to move from the DMV at all. I wanted to stay. And because the bump is crazy here. There's not one person that's like not bad for high school basketball here. So.
No doubt. And that's another thing too that I think obviously whatever really a person's take is and whatever's best for them, obviously it's best to go do that. I think, but one of the things that maybe it's not as needed these days is that media is so popular now. There's obviously you have your national media stages like Slam, like Overtime and whatnot. But then every state's kind of got their select 2, 3, 4 groups that really put out a lot of mixtapes and just do great media where you can really be discovered from anywhere. I mean, college coaches can just watch those and kind of get a good feeling where you don't need to be on a national spotlight every day of the year at all times.
Right.
And then talking more about Team USA, what's some things that maybe you're looking forward to possibly playing with them and going up to the next level, or maybe traveling and playing in the international tournament and games?
I'm really looking forward, to like see what's gonna happen in the spring. Because if I do get invited in the spring, that's when trials happen. So I'm looking forward to see, who's gonna be like if I do make it there, who's gonna be on the team with me. I'm really looking forward to even just playing with them because they're like the top players in the country. So I'm just looking forward to getting to know a lot more of the players and just playing with the best, honestly.
Absolutely. So, in your opinion, at the camp, what were some of the guys that really stood out to you, alongside you, obviously, that were the great players that really kind of that kind of caught your eye, as they've either improved a lot or really just brought the game to another level, or some of the top players?
I would say Mark Mitchell's one of them. He did do really good this weekend. His team actually made it to the championship for their we have like little games and stuff. His team made it to the championship. I also say Scooter too. He did really, really well this weekend. There was a lot of guys, in the 2020 class too, but I was just trying to focus on my class, that the people that I felt like did really, really well in my class. So
Absolutely. And I always like to wrap up with a couple questions. The first one just being, who would you say has been your biggest role model in your life?
Tyler Hero, definitely.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And then also, I was like kind of finishing up just talking about faith, and also, how would you say faith kind of helped you get to the point you're at today?
Um, I feel like it just helps me, push through when I hit adversity. It helps me push through like the hard times, especially when I don't feel like doing a workout or I don't feel like doing something like a lift or anything like that. I feel like it helps me push through a lot. So yeah.
No doubt. I think there's so many different things that, obviously, to be a great player and make it to each level, there's so many different trials and tribulations and stuff you have to kind of, not just that, but just having to work through and outwork other people. And obviously, at times you don't want to do stuff. That's just the way we're kind of created. And to be able to have somebody to rely on always is a huge thing. But I definitely appreciate you coming on today, my guy. Best of luck. You're obviously this upcoming season and throughout the rest of your career.
Thank you.
No problem. Talk to you later. God bless.
All right.
Coming up next, you're not going to miss hearing as you would hear from one of the most underrated guards in the 2021 class, in Jaylen Blakes. He's recently picked up a few offers, and you're not going to miss hearing about those and much more. His interview is coming on right after this.
I couldn't be more excited than to welcome on a four-star guard from New Jersey that led Sports U this past summer and is gearing up to lead Blair Academy in his junior season, as he's currently a top 5 player in New Jersey. He also put on a show at the Team USA camp in Jaylen Blakes. What's happening, my guy?
What's up? I'm proud. Lucky to be here. Thank you very much.
Anytime, bro. Let's get right into discuss. Obviously, it was a big-time thing. Being able to go play at the Team USA camp. Talk about your experience and what it was like.
It was definitely an honor to be invited. There's only, I think, 82 kids that were there. So to be identified as one of the best players in the country and to play against all the high-level athletes, it's just an honor. And a lot of kids would die to be in my position, so I'm just blessed to be there. And also, it was highly competitive. It was a great learning experience, and it definitely pushed me to be better and see where I want to get to. So it was just an honor to be there.
No doubt. That's something that's so unique about it because, like you said, there is only a selected few kids out of all the kids that play basketball, all the good players that go to college and whatnot. There's about 82 kids that get to go, and that's just a truly an honor because you're alongside the best of the best in all the country at all levels.
Yeah, definitely. And to see the people that have been through that program, it's just an honor to be identified as one of them.
So, were there any guys that you really connected with or had a great kind of chemistry kind of form playing alongside them at the camp?
A few of my roommates, Nate Biddle and Keon Edwards, they were very cool. Efton Reid was a very cool guy. Bensley. It was a great bonding experience because I was there before, and just to see kind of the relationships you build, because you never know how far these relationships will take you. So it was just fun.
No doubt. I think that's something that you said. The relationships, they're gonna go on forever, really. I mean, it won't just die off you when you gotta stop playing basketball. But as throughout your career, I mean, you're just gonna be with each other for the rest of high school, college, and pros, and it's gonna be a great relationship you guys can always keep from now on out.
Yeah, definitely, because you never know what they'll end up being. A lot of these college coaches end up being were like kids, lifelong friends. So it's just connections that you build.
No doubt. So, kind of talking to some of these guys, have you guys possibly discussed teaming up with in college or at some point together?
I have not talked about that yet. That decision's a long way from now, so just waiting the time.
No doubt. Talk about the process. What is the Team USA kind of camp structure like? I mean, obviously you guys play some games, but kind of talk about what the day was like and one of the days out there.
Of course, we woke up. They had a few life skill meetings with us. They talked about um, decisions and kind of problems that you would face as a professional athlete, or kind of how you want to be associated or what your label will be, kind of what you give off. And then we went to practice. We went over a few sets, tried to understand, get a greater understanding for the game, learn a few concepts, did a few shooting drills, and then we went into the scrimmage.
Okay, that's awesome. I think one thing that obviously stands out there is, I mean, obviously you guys can all you guys are elite players, all going to go to college and probably play basketball for a living. But the part that's key is obviously like learning how to like living and managing things and being able to like deal with obstacles off the court. Because there's so many times you see athletes or different kinds of people go off the wrong path because of doing different things that it is a tough job trying to be an athlete. So I mean, be able to learn those things and how to manage that is obviously key.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of NBA players struggle with that, and even people that have retired struggle with that, managing their money, managing relationships. So to learn this at a young age is going to be very beneficial in the long run.
No doubt. So, are there any coaches that really kind of stood out to you or you kind of create a good connection with while you're there?
Actually, my high school coach went out there, Coach Joe Mantegna. So that was just an honor, and I also played on his team, which was extremely fun. So definitely, and I also enjoyed Coach Jones, who runs kind of as the director when I went out there in July, and then it was just fun.
No doubt. So, were there any guys that like, really stood out to you that were at the camp?
Of course, my Jersey friend Zion Cruz really locked up on defense. Nate, he's tall, he could shoot, so that was special. Jabari Smith was very good. So there's a lot of talent there, and the standout is very special.
Absolutely. I think one thing that some people might notice is that a lot of the guys there, not all you guys are like obviously ranked. It's not just like 1 through 10 like make it or whatever. There's a lot of rankings, at least in terms of what ESPN and those 247 all rank you guys. So I mean, USA obviously has a unique approach to how they kind of look at the guys. Obviously, it's character and skill. So being able to see that, because a lot of times it kind of is, you look at the NBA draft and some of the top players in the NBA, it are the guys that attended that camp, and a lot of times the rankings are wrong. I mean, talk about that and what it's like being recognized by USA and how this kind of feels and how it was being able to be a part of that.
It's actually a blessing and honor because all my life I was never ranked. I was never a big time recruit, never anything like that. And going into it in July, I was like, I never thought I would be in that position to play for USA, or even recently playing in October, getting that opportunity because I wasn't a big name. I wasn't ranked. I wasn't 5 star. So just being recognized, even though my hard work is showing that rankings don't really matter. It's just what you do on the court and the name. So it's just an
No,
honor.
I think that's the key thing there because so many guys you see, I think it's become really obvious, especially in this past year's draft, seeing guys like John Morant, Brandon Clark, Jared Culver, a lot of those guys that weren't really even ranked coming out of high school, turn out to be top picks in the draft. And I think that it truly shows that rankings are a cool thing, especially for media and people to kind of look at, enjoy, or whatnot. But at the end of the day, it comes down to who can beat who when it comes down to it. And you know that the NBA is most likely going to get that part right.
Yeah, definitely. My dad always said, those rankings don't mean anything. The ball was on the court. You're the same person. You're a basketball player just like me. So you kind of got to take that mindset.
Absolutely. And obviously, you have been able to start picking up some college offers. I think the most recent one, obviously, Rutgers, and then you've got Yale and a couple other ones. But talk about that and what it's been like getting those offers, and then what it was like getting your very first offer.
It's honestly a blessing, because you see a lot of other players getting offers here and there, but you got to kind of understand your past. So sophomore year, after playing against McDuffie, I think I had like 19 in the second half. Georgia was there, and they offered me right after that game, and I was like kind of like shocked, like starstruck by like receiving that offer. And then obviously it's just a blessing to continue the process, getting off from Yale, and then now Rutgers. It's just a blessing to have like options.
Mm-hmm. And that's something that obviously you still have a couple years left of high school. I think that obviously you will be getting a lot more offers. And I mean, just like you said, just being able to know that you have kind of accomplished that, because that's a dream for every high school person who wants to go play in college, and being able to achieve that and know that you have those options and you have at least one is awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Just even having one and now just having three is just a blessing and an honor.
No doubt. So what is it really, when it comes time and you start looking at colleges, what's something that you really want and you're going to really look for from a college?
Definitely high academics, great connections, alumni base, because at the end of the day, the college is going to help determine the job you're going to get after basketball if I play professionally, because the ball is going to eventually stop bouncing, and then obviously like a community feel, because right now it's in Blair Academy, and it's really like a family aspect. Everybody knows everybody. They're all great people. And then also with the basketball, they're pushing me to be the best player I can be, holding me accountable, and also kind of like family aspect when it comes to the team and just pushing each other.
Absolutely. So when do you think you'll start looking at taking some visits, and when do you think that will be?
I think after the high school season, probably when I take a few official visits. But right now, just kind of waiting the time, analyzing the options that I have right now.
No doubt. So in terms of when you get and go play on a college court, what do you think you're kind of feeling well, or what can colleges really expect for you to bring to the table?
I'm not going to be bullied by anybody. I'm just going to go out, play my heart out, give a lot of energy. I think I can score the ball well. I can shoot. And also I love to play defense, which not saying not a lot of guys like to do, but I like to play defense, which kind of, I think, separates me. I'm not afraid to guard 94 feet or get on the ground to get the loose ball or box out. So just doing the little things to keep me on the court.
Absolutely. And obviously, though, you do have a couple more years of high school, so let's talk about that at Blair Academy. What are your expectations for this upcoming season?
This upcoming season, I expect us to win a state championship. Also, our conference league championship for a Maple championship. That would be the goal this season. And obviously, just become a better player, become a leader, kind of like leading these guys. And obviously, just creating lifelong bonds with the team, and then bring it back the year after that.
No doubt. So what's some of the guys alongside you that's going to help lead the team?
We have Jabri Abdul Rahim. You already know about him. We have a kid named Michael O'Connell, came from Long Island, New York. Kyle Cuff, a really bouncy guard. We have Akoda Gak in my grade, who's 6'11". He's a freak. He's going to be a great player. Luke Colleget, who is a knockdown shooter. He's going to Yale. We also have a kid who's a sophomore, 7-footer, Luau, who's going to be an impact force. Then we have a few role players, shooters. So we're a very good team. We're balanced, and we'll be good this year.
That's awesome. So who would you say is going to be the biggest obstacle for you guys to face this year?
Within our conference, I think it would be Hill, but obviously the main one for the states would be probably St. Benedict's. That would be a big game. So it gets loud and very packed. So last year we won the state championship against St. Benedict's. Freshman year we lost. So it's a rivalry.
That's awesome. So what would you say is one of the matchups you really do enjoy, or who do you like playing against in that game?
I don't really have a personal beef with anybody, but I just like guarding whoever they think is their guy or the best player. So I just go out there and play my game, kind of block them up, play defense, try to do what I do to help my team win.
No doubt. And then what would you say this upcoming season, this summer, you've really worked on focusing and keying in on in terms of improving on to get ready for the season?
Definitely my shooting ability, extending my range. Obviously, because last year I had great players, great guards, Jordan Dingle, Dexter Kanu, who were really on the ball, so I'd be off the ball. And this year, kind of being on the ball, trying to transform my game to score more on the ball. And then obviously working on becoming more of a leader, vocal, and trying to get the best out of my teammates.
That's big time. And so this past summer, playing at AU, what kind of were the things you kind of took away from it and playing with Sports U?
Obviously, it was fun. A lot of lifelong bonds. It was a great aspect. It really gave me a platform, a team to kind of play and show off my skills. So it was just fun in that aspect.
No doubt. So was there a game that really stood out to you that you enjoyed playing?
I definitely like playing against Team Thad in the UA. A few of my teammates like EJ, Josh Rivera, Jaden Brown, they kind of showed out in the UA. They went off. My boy Josh Rivera is picking up a few offers at Roselle Catholic now. So it was just a few games like that when we really connected as a team and kind of took over that game and won.
That's awesome. I mean, anytime you're definitely able to go in and be able to play at like a level, I think AU is something special because it's so much different than high school. Obviously, high school is a lot more like they're both as a team sport, but high school is a lot more like a connection. You're going to school, you have a great connection that way. And clubs obviously at a national stage, and being able to go play at that, I think is a great experience, especially when you're able to go out there against the highest level.
Yeah, definitely. Going against the highest level. AAU is kind of like the best talent, like go out there and play. So it was kind of fun, like in that aspect.
No doubt. So, were there any other club teams you're considering to go play for?
Right now, I don't have an AAU team that I'm playing with. I'm just kind of looking out for the best option for me and kind of like seeing who will help me develop as a person and as a player.
Absolutely. And so going back to a little about high school, obviously there's been a lot of big movements this past year. Obviously, guys transferring to many different states and kind of forming a lot of super teams. So what's kind of your thought about that and kind of going that route, and what's your kind of like just what's your thought on those guys doing that?
I think it's great for them. Obviously, it's great for me. You have these super teams, so I'm kind of trying to just prove myself, play against these super teams, and kind of show what I got and like go against them. Obviously, it's gonna happen. You develop friendships that are gonna last for a lifetime. You want to play with them, so I understand where people are coming from, but I love the competition. It only drives me more and more.
I think it really just depends on what's best for each person. I mean, you never really know. Like some people, obviously, like being able to stay at in-state, being able to go play with guys that you play for 3 or 4 years is obviously key. But also being able to play on national stage is great too. It just really depends on who you are as a person, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It depends on who you are as a person and what's best for you and what will get you to that next level and help you develop.
Absolutely. And I was like wrapping up with a couple questions. The first one is, who would you say has been your biggest role model in your life?
Ooh. I would say definitely my parents. As hard as they work for me to put me in a place like Blair, to provide for me. My dad flew out with me to Colorado. So kind of seeing the effort that they put in for me. My mother always being there for me, always keeping a positive mindset, and kind of being what I want to be in life and better. So they kind of like drive me to be better, a better person, a better athlete, and just to work hard.
That's awesome. I think obviously family is one of the keyest things that can help guide you and get you ready and get you onto your path. So whenever you're able to have, especially one but two different people that are big time and supporting you is obviously an awesome thing.
Yeah, definitely. And got to shout out my sister who's going to be a big time basketball player, Jaylen Blakes. She also drives me. She's a role model.
That's awesome. My last question I was like finishing up then is, how would you say God's helped get you to the point you're at today?
God has been everything for me. Definitely I pray. My uncle has been big on me. He's been praying. He's got me to this point so far, and he's been a blessing to me. He's provided me with a life that not many people have, so you have to be thankful for that. A lot of people would die to be in my position that I am now. So I'm just blessed and honored, and I'm continuing to believe in him, pray every day, and because blessings will continue to come, and I know if they don't, then he's just teaching me a lesson to take me to that next level. So it's just an honor and a blessing.
Yeah, that's definitely key. I think being able to look at it with that idea of just seeing that he's obviously there for you, and there's some things that obviously is not always going to be perfect throughout the entire path. There will be trials, and a lot of times they're just meant to go make you stronger, get you down the right path that he wants you to. And that's obviously what's so great about that.
Yeah, definitely. Any trial, tribulation is all for a greater purpose.
No doubt. Well, obviously, best of luck. Thank you for coming on today, my guy. I can't wait to see what you do and keep doing your thing from here on out.
Definitely. Thank you for having me. Appreciate the call.
No problem, bro. God bless.
You too.
Sorry you had to stay right there, and I wouldn't be going anywhere. Because you're going to be able to hear from Efton Reid, and he's going to come on and discuss so many topics, but I don't want to get too much further. You're just not going to want to miss it. So if I were you, I'd stay right there because the interview is coming up right after this. I'm excited to be able to welcome on a 5-star from the class of 2021, who's currently ranked 19th in the country. While being the number 1 player in Virginia, he leads Steward School and put together an elite summer with Team Takeover. He also put together one of the best weekends in the Team USA camp in Efton Reid. What's happening today, my guy?
What's good? What's good with you?
Life's good, bro. Couldn't complain. But let's just jump right in and just talk about Team USA camp. What was the experience like, and what did you really take away from it?
You know, as day one was going on, I felt comfortable, and I was just excited to be out there, and I competed my best, and you know, it was a really good camp. I loved it.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, Team USA is one of the most prestigious things for any high schooler to be. I mean, obviously, be able to go and travel with them, but just going to the camp is an awesome thing because you're with so much elite talent and so many top coaches. They truly just get to truly make connections and just work on your craft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a really good experience. I learned a lot from all the coaches, and just like where to be like on the floor at all times, like running the floor, blocking shots, just being on the right spot at all times. So I learned a lot from the coaches.
Absolutely. And obviously, there's a lot of write-ups and people talking about, oh, obviously, you had a great performance out there. And kind of talk about that and what's something that was it kind of, did you kind of think you were going to perform like that, or was it kind of, you just kind of felt in the groove and you just really felt good playing there this weekend?
Well, I just fell in the groove because like any like situation I'm put in, I'm gonna like compete my hardest and I'm gonna try my best. And it happened to go my way. I did what I had to do and I competed.
No doubt. I mean, obviously, the top players in the country, and some of them obviously older, and like Evan and all them. And so, kind of, was there some things that maybe you took from them, or maybe they give you tips that you kind of implement into your game now?
They were just saying like, just being very vocal at USA, talk a lot, and just compete your best, basically.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, were there any of the guys in the camp, big men or not big men, that kind of really stood out to you and put on a great show?
Greg, like in the championship game, like he was going crazy with the dunks. Like I was just like, dang. Like I knew he had like bounce like that, but like seeing it in person is just like it's a whole nother like level of like wow. It was crazy.
No doubt. I think today, with there being so many different kinds of mixtapes all the time you get to watch, obviously dunking kind of is awesome, but at the same time you have to do some crazy stuff like what Jimma does and some of them. But like when you're actually able to
Yeah.
see those guys that are like big men, I think that's some of the most impressive things when big men are able to go up there and jump like he did. I think Greg also obviously got himself a lot more notoriety, not just off dunks, but also just having a great performance as well.
Yeah, he did his thing out there.
Absolutely. So do you have any idea of some of the guys that might make up the team for Team USA when you go out there?
I actually don't know. Like that was my first time being invited, so it was a new environment for me and the guys I roomed with, like I didn't know them before the camp. So it was kind of a good way to like, meet new people and see some new faces and stuff.
No doubt. Obviously, being with Team USA, there's so many top players from all over the country that you get to connect with from the rest of high school and then obviously through college and your professional career. So it's a great chance to go and meet those guys.
Yeah, so it was a really good chance. Like some of the guys I already knew from like Elite 100, like a couple, and others I seen at Top 100. But all the other guys were just new to me, so it was a good experience being out there and meeting them.
No doubt. And that's one of the cool things too about there being so many of those top camps. Obviously, you were in the Elite 100 and the NBA camp, and there's guys that you do kind of translate from each camp, but you get to make connections with that way. But also, you put on big performances in both those camps. Kind of talk about that and what it was like getting into those camps and how you think you performed.
Well, I think I'm gonna talk about Elite 100 first. Elite 100 was a good experience. Out of Missouri is my first time out there. The time change was all right, but I adjusted to that. And Elite 100 was just talking about like how like you're gonna work out like a pro and you're gonna play a game and then you're gonna come back and work out. And then they taught us some life skills, which was really good, like social media and stuff and influencing your image and your brand. So I feel like that was really good, motivation for us and teaching for us because some of the like me, like I influence my brand, but like I just need that next like step to like take it to the next level. So like they really helped me with that. So it was really good. And Top 100 camp, they taught me a whole bunch, with the games and shooting and drill work and, in the classroom too as well. Like they talked about like real life stuff, like actual, like not just basketball. Like they said the ball's going to stop bouncing at some point. So, they taught us a lot there too about just life in general. Like not even being a basketball player, just being a person.
No doubt. That's something that's huge. Because like you said, I mean, obviously both those camps do have a lot, especially the NBA one I know is a lot of NBA players, coaches, and all them. But I mean, just teaching that
Yeah.
stuff, the other stuff, because even the best that get to play 20 plus years like LeBron in the NBA and are probably set financially, there's still at some point you're going to want to do something. And just being able to find that passion and get other things down and is obviously a huge part.
Yeah, they're talking about finding something after basketball because the ball is going to start bouncing. So like study what you want in college. So when it does, you'll be happy and you're gonna do what you want to do. You're gonna live a happy life. So it's a really good point. They proved.
Absolutely. So do you have any idea maybe something you would want to pursue in college or something besides basketball you have interest in?
I like business and maybe like pre-med maybe. Like I don't know yet. I still got to find my niche besides basketball.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. And so another thing, obviously, you kind of talked about was kind of growing your brand. And I think in today's world, a lot of people just think of your brand being obviously social media and whatnot. And that's something that, yeah, some people can just get it by doing highlight stuff or whatnot. But that's not
Yeah.
necessarily what's the brand. That's something that being a character that people respect. And once again, I mean, that's something that so many of the top players you see have established. Obviously, LeBron, Curry, and all those guys. And that's something that's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, I found it's really big because you want to be and have a good image out in the public so they can see you in the public eye like you're actual like a human being, like you're not just some stuck up guy who has a lot of money who plays basketball. So it's a really good image thing.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that's so key because so many guys, I think as you get to the NBA level, you do get a lot more attention, obviously media-wise, people get to know your personality. But in high school and college, a lot of the time, people do just look at you and know people by they're good at basketball or whatnot. So I mean, being able to hear
Yeah.
what people can say and speak, because everyone's got so many unique personalities, is obviously a huge thing.
Yeah, it's really important because some people just look at us like we're basketball players, but it's just like LeBron said, like we're more than basketball players, like we're human beings like y'all too. It's just a thing like that. I think that's really important.
Absolutely. And so talk about college. Obviously, you have a lot of offers, and you got on a couple of visits now. So talk about those visits and what's some of the
Yeah.
things that really stand out to you about those programs.
I took my first official and my only official, Ohio State, and it was really nice out there. I loved it out there. It was a great environment. The vibe was there, and they took me to a football game, which is even more lit. It was like 100,000 people in there, and the coaching staff really talked to me about how they're really using the system and about their culture with me, and that's big on me because I'm all about the culture and the vibe at the college because the vibe's not there for me. I don't see myself going there, but Ohio State had that type of vibe, so it was a really good visit for me and my family.
Absolutely. And so when you first got your very first offer, what kind of was that feeling and what was it?
It was my first offer was ODU. Like like a lot of people not know, like they don't know that yet because like I don't really talk about my offers like that, but like I'm gonna drop a list. I think at the end of the month, like with all my offers, so everybody can see it because everybody's been asking, and like some of these media sites only have me as like I have Virginia and Rutgers and Maryland, but I have way more offers than that. I would say
Hmm.
I have like over 15 offers, maybe 20. I don't know. But I'm gonna drop my list at the end of the month, and edit. So people have been asking me about that, but I just feel like I've worked for it, so it's really good. Like me and my family were really happy, but I just gotta keep working and keep grinding.
No doubt. I mean, obviously, like you said, I think for you, it's just finding what college is the best for you and the day important. Obviously, it's not like it's a decision right now. So, I mean, the offers will keep coming. And obviously,
Yeah.
being a player that's an elite player that is a big man, which is very critical, especially in the college game, will be a huge
Mhm.
attraction of many programs.
Yeah, like bigs nowadays, like we're just looking for like a good family, a good culture, and how am I going to fit in the system basically? Because like if you don't fit in the system, like why would you go to the college and stuff? So like the system is a huge part, and just the family aspect of it. Like
Absolutely. And that's something that's been so critically kind of talked about now, and seeing that so many guys go and select the wrong college sometimes because of maybe it being a Kansas, a Duke, North Carolina, and those schools are fine. If you fit, that's obviously great. But so many
yeah,
guys sometimes look at the image of that's who they are instead of looking at where does a coach truly want me and invest in me. And you see some of those guys, obviously Jarrett Culver, John Morant, Brandon Clark, a lot of these guys go to smaller schools and they come out being top players because that's where they truly were invested in.
exactly. Because I mean, if you're gonna fit in the system and you're gonna trust God, like you're gonna go to the league regardless. Like if that's God's plan for you, and people just have to trust their inside gut and like for me and my family and my circle, like, we're just worried about finding me the right college right now. Because once you go to that college, like, you're branded for life with that college. So you got to make the right decision.
No doubt. And also, you said it's just a path that God sets for everyone, making sure that you do go down the right path, because there's so many things that you might look at thinking the right path or whatnot, but just making sure you're at the right path, and that's obviously what God's got in store, and it's going to be great.
Exactly, because when I make a decision, like, it's gonna be me, my mom, my high school coach, and God. Like, basically, like, I'm gonna ask God, like, where I'm gonna go, basically, and he's gonna reveal to me. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but, like, that's just how it works. Like, me and my mom have a tight connection, and my high school coach have a tight connection, and we just gonna see, like, where I'm gonna go, basically. Like, God's gonna show us, the right path for me.
Absolutely. And now let's jump in, kind of talk about your high school upcoming season, like at Steward School. Talk about that and really what your expectations are for this upcoming season.
Well, this upcoming season, we're looking to win it all. Like, we're gonna win it all, basically. State championship. And we're just gonna, like, we've been in the lab, we've been working on our chemistry, working on our play, and just working on everything, like, bettering us as a basketball team, basically. Like, we have a really good point guard, we have really good guards, we have me, we have a wing, Kurt. So we be working, basically. We're in the gym every day, so we're gonna continue to work.
That's awesome. What's some of the other guys on the team that you think is really going to step up and kind of help lead the team alongside you?
Well, the team, we got a really good point guard, Isaiah. He's gonna, dish us, assist us, and he's gonna run the team, basically. He's gonna make sure everybody's good, everybody's in their spots. He's gonna lead everybody. And me, I'm gonna be the anchor on the team. I'm gonna do whatever the team needs, whether it be scoring, rebounding, blocking shots. I'm gonna do everything. And Kurt, he's our wing. He's like a 6'5", 6'6" freshman, very long, athletic, and he's just gonna. We needed him to step up and make shots because one of our shooters got hurt. So we got him. He got to step up, and Jabari, he got to step up too and make shots and just play some defense, and we're just gonna be fine, basically. And Jonathan got to play some good D2 because, we got to play defense first and then we got to score, basically. That's our mindset.
No doubt. So what's some of the things you maybe taken from the summer you really worked on to add on to your game for this upcoming season?
I've really worked on my game by rebounding, blocking shots, just, being active on the floor, running the floor, scoring my left hand and my right hand, shooting threes, a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm. And I think another part that obviously you've grown into is obviously you keep growing your high end. Kind of talk about that, and obviously I'd heard something about you still being able to grow some, and kind of talk about that and what's been like kind of growing into your body and being able to produce being at that high end level.
Yeah, well, I went to the doctor's, I think, a couple months ago, and, just my mom wanted to see if I was going to grow more, so we x-rayed my knees, and I may have 1 or 2 more inches. I don't know, but my mom says, I may have 1 inch or 2, so, I always listen to my mom because she's always said I'm always going to be 7 feet, and no one ever believed her, and I'm 7 feet, so always got to listen to mom. But then I'm just, like, me growing into my body, like, last year, like, I wasn't really into my body, but this year I can really feel like I'm in control of my body. So I'm continuing to eat more, lift, and just work out so my body can be right for the season.
Absolutely. So kind of when was there maybe one big growth spurt in your life, or did it kind of just continuously just grow at a consistent rate for you?
No, I've always been tall in my life. Like I've grown 2 inches every year.
Okay, that's big time.
I was 5 feet in first grade, so I've always been tall.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then obviously you take that high and take a lot of your skill obviously to AAU. So talk about that last season and really where you've grown and talk about your team.
My team takeover. It was a really good season, but we lost. We didn't make out a bracket play, but I felt we played really good as a team. But we lost, unfortunately. But learning with them and those guys on the Nike circuit was a tremendous opportunity for me because I learned a lot, especially playing against Hunter because he's 7'2", like 260. So he's teaching me a lot in practice, and like we're going against one another every single day. So that was getting me better because I don't really have another 7-footer at Steward, to challenge me and stuff. So it was really fun, and I competed hard against him. So it was really good for me.
Is there like a game that really stood out to you that you really enjoyed playing this last season?
I think the Why Not game because we were down like 20, 30 points, and we came back and we beat them, and it was just like we came together as a team and our chemistry was there, and we won the game. We fought back.
That's awesome. And And I'd like to wrap up with a couple questions. The first one being, who would you say has been your biggest role model in your life?
My mom, for sure, because everything she's like, I've seen her struggle through and overcome. Like, she's like my biggest role model, basically. Like, it's just amazing what she's done in her life.
No doubt. I think moms, it always puts obviously someone in your life, either a friend or parent or sibling that you're able to have a great connection with. And a lot of time it is your mom. And just being able to have her that's always supportive and she obviously cares about us and loves us more than pretty much anyone else in the world is just an awesome thing to always have.
Exactly. You guys, you have that special connection where no one can ever take that away from you.
No doubt. And then my final question I'd like to wrap up with is, how would you say God's helped get you to the point you're at today?
He's always been there for me. Like, no matter what has happened to my life, he's always been there for me and always will be there for me. So I'm very strong in my faith, and I continue. That's one of my goals this year is to continue my faith and become a better person, and reach that next level with God.
No doubt. And that's something that's so key because God's always there for you no matter what. Just be able to have Him there to kind of support you and stay true to you because He always can hold you accountable, especially in a world that is hard to stay true to your path. To have Him there to just kind of keep you on that path is obviously awesome.
Yes, sir. Always have to talk to God, no matter what you do in your life. You always have to talk to Him because He's always going to be there for you and He's always going to listen to you, no matter what.
Absolutely. Well, definitely appreciate you taking time to come on today, my guy. Best of luck this upcoming season, obviously the rest of your high school and from the rest of your career.
Appreciate that.
All right, no problem. God bless.
All right, God bless, man.